Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, going to be showing you guys what could secretly be one of the most overpowered brawlers within the meta, but not a lot of people really know about it. So before we jump into it, make sure you're using the creator code. That'd be greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. All right, guys, so jumping into what could possibly be secretly a really overpowered brawler within the meta. Well, what is secretly an overpowered brawler in the meta? It is Max. So Max is absolutely insane right now, especially in Power League and on certain maps. If a good Max player can get an open map without Crow in play, then Max is just so deadly. So as I said, like the #1 counter by far is a Crow. So a lot of the times, especially if the enemy, for example, has like a first pick, what a lot of people tend to do, not even first pick, just all the time in general, if you want to play a Max, you can easily just ban out a Crow and Max just seems to dominate. I just feel like a lot of people are really sleeping on a strategy. A lot of times in competitive, people will do this strategy, and even sometimes, for example, if the enemy first pick like a really strong brawler like a Bonnie, Janet, etc., what people can do as well is take a Max and a Crow as well, because if you take both of those brawlers, like what are you going to actually counter Max with? There's not really a lot of brawlers in the meta that can fully hard counter Max. A lot of them can just feed Max a super, and as I said, like in the open, a good Max player can easily just tear your apart. You can think of maps, for example, like in a championship challenge, which is out tomorrow, which you could literally go Max and shoot and start, and a good Max can essentially 1v3. Trust me, like you can absolutely do work with a Max. I'm somewhat of an okay Max, wouldn't really call myself the best Max in the world, but if you want to see the best Max plays for sure, you can easily watch any game in competitive and you'll see some absolutely wild Max plays, especially on maps where you can get a lot of pressure. The reason I made this video is because a lot of people was underrating Max in a championship challenge video, but I feel like especially on maps like Safe Zone, people are really underrated Max. Like the only really solid counter to a Max mid on Safe Zone is probably like Bell, because of the Bell traps. Other than that, like Max can easily just handle everyone. You can just give speed to all your lanes. Like if you're really struggling on pressure, one Max speed can literally turn the tide of the game. So that's going to be the first game. Let's hop into the next one. Okay, so now jumping into the maps and modes which I think Max thrives on the most. So I've already briefly gone over like a couple of maps. So Safe Zone and Kaboom Canyon, definitely some maps that Max can do absolutely work with, especially if you have well, just any game in general, you can get a lot of value with Max on. But as I was saying, like you got to make sure that Crow is out of play. You guys might be wondering, well, maybe I'm overrating Max if literally one brawler can hard counter her, but even in some cases, like not often, like everyone just completely picks Crow anymore. Crow used to be one of those first picks pretty much all of the time now, and honestly, like people don't even pick Crow as much as before. So make sure again to get that good use out of the Max. We should be able to get this 8-bit down. So brawlers literally with any high health can just feed Max supers over and over again. That's why I just love playing as such an aggressive brawler. Other game modes as well then, so it's not really the best in Hot Zone, but can still definitely be played on. You got Bounty, so you got multiple maps. I think every single map on Bounty you could definitely fit Max into it. The thing about Max is everyone knows she's just a fantastic synergy brawler. You can literally put her into any single composition and you know you're going to be getting good value out of it. So hopefully I can get this more down in time. Nice. So I'm just going to use my speed to try and get a ball out as quickly as possible here. Don't think I'm going to be able to get a goal scoring opportunity. Maybe I can with the dash. If I actually shot the ball against the wall and dashed, I probably would have been able to catch that. So quick tip as well, when you play Max in Brawl, make sure a lot of the times where you want to make sure you're practicing with the gadget. The gadget is probably the best thing about it. Honestly, I know the speed is amazing, but the gadget you can make so many clutch plays with, and especially in Brawl, as I said, make sure you're trying to bounce it off a wall and then gadgeting where the ball is going to land. You should be able to perfectly catch the ball, and especially if you're about to score, you've probably seen a ton of good Max players play that. You can literally think of KC in the competitive last year. He scored 1 million goals by doing that. So make sure you're getting that on lockdown, because I've scored so many goals like that. So also other game modes as well then. So let me quickly scroll down on my list. I always have a list of the Power League maps just so I can ring them off the top of my head. So you got the likes of Gem Grab, of course. Max is going to be really strong there. I would say that Max is a really solid mid on every single map and Gem Grab, so make sure you get some good use out of there. Knockout, I've been seeing people run Max on Knockout a lot. For me, I was always questioning that, but it seems to work a lot of the time, especially because Crow isn't the greatest on Knockout. So that is going to be another game. Let's hop into the next one. All right, guys, jumping into the next game then. So I didn't really talk about Brawl as well, because I think it's fairly obvious that Brawl is by far Max's best mode. So I didn't really talk about as well the play style, kind of the best matchups for Max, the best ways to try and counteract her as well. So just off the get-go, like the best counters to Max, of course, going to be Crow. I feel like Pam is also an okay counter. Like sometimes you do feed Max a little bit, but overall, like especially on a passive map like Backyard Bowl, I feel like Pam could be a good counter because you've got the turret behind you. I feel like sometimes I do opt for that Pam pick if someone has gone at Max. Just anyone that isn't like a long-range brawler, because Max just absolutely bodies any long-range brawler like Piper, like Byron, like Bell even. Only Bell's only strong against Max when there's like traps in well, loads of areas, so then obviously you can slow down Max a little bit, but any type of slow, it's going to be stopping Max in the tracks. I know Gale's probably an okay counter to Max because, again, you've got those stuns, and at least you've got the wide attack, which you can do somewhat decently well against Max with. But also talking about the playstyle with Max, though. So for me, it is always just trying to slowly chip away, build up that first super, and then once you charge your first super, you've just got to be as aggro, but not like literally run into their face. You've got to be like calculated aggro. You've got to keep pinching it in and out, trying to chip around the wall so you can get that little bit of chip damage. And also you've got to seize opportunities with Max. A good Max player can easily just crumble the opposition with absolute pressure. It's all about pressure with Max. You probably heard me talk a lot, especially in my I think it was 58 tips video, which I did a few days ago. I spoke so much about pressure and presence with brawlers, but Max is definitely that brawler where just one super can literally pressure the entire enemy team all the way back into spawn, which is just insane. She's such a fun brawler to play, and if you play her right, you know you're going to absolutely dominate with. So it's going to be pretty much a team wipe. I also use health gear on Max. Let me know what gears you use on Max. Sometimes in the open I will use a shield gear. The health gear is pretty underrated, I've got to admit. Like, a lot of people are kind of sleeping on it, especially for like a mid brawler. Getting that health up much quicker is definitely essential if you want to keep in those gun fights and engagements a lot more. So we're getting into overtime here. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to win this one because they're in a really strong position. Unless we can get our Tara out really quick, we're definitely not winning this one. So Gale does miss that super, unfortunately. Still got all my dashes left, so me talking about using my dashes, I've not really utilized them that well, unfortunately. So now we've got the speed, we should be able to do something here. Let's see if we can break these Gale's ankles. Tara with the super, and that should be a goal. I'm hoping. Okay, no, I can't finish that one off. Fortunately, the ball lands inside of a tornado, but we're going to pass this across the mortars, and this should hopefully be a goal. Fine. Okay, no, he's going to try go for the spectacular. That's a really nice pull by Tara, and that's going to be a goal. So that's going to be another game back. So let's hop into the next one. All right, guys, so jumping into the final game, and so as I mentioned, pretty much like every single video ever, I need video ideas as much as possible now. Like, the game, it's getting a little bit stale, isn't it? I can tell you guys aren't really enjoying it as much as you used to. Like, even my championship challenge videos, they used to still do somewhat decently, but literally when I uploaded it yesterday, it performed as worse as it ever has. Like, I know it's the end near enough of the competitive season, and many people aren't really looking to compete anymore, but still people normally just watch the videos anyway. But it just looks like not a lot of people kind of clicked onto it. I also did like another video on Otis, you know, really going into depth explaining the meta. Like, I played Otis for a long time with the other star power, trying to analyze like the meta as much as possible. I watched so many scrims, and people just seem to really care about another Otis update. So content in a minute, really questionable. Like, I don't really understand what people want to watch. Even like my tips videos where, you know, 58 tips with 58 brawlers. Normally when I do a video that takes like literally days to set out and record, it does really well, but it's even struggled to get like bare minimum what I used to. So yeah, content can be a little bit frustrating now, but still somewhat enjoyable. So that should be a goal right there. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. If I've not mentioned it already, I am streaming basically every other day, and also doing daily videos on my second channel where I'm doing really fun challenges. Like today's video, it's going to be missing a pull in Power League every single time I get a genie pull, which is pretty funny. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed that one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.